Cheers.
No, it's recording.
Cheers.
Cheers.
To episode
Cheers.
130.
You just said water.
I both. You can bring
Lie
both.
to me.
Look at this can. Sheboygan Brewing Blood Orange Honey Ale.
I've had it.
Yeah, that would give me.
What'd you think?
Acid reflux
Evan?
for sure.
I've had it probably a year and a half, 2 years ago.
I take
I
it.
got it because of the
like
can. It's like a nice can. I'd say it was pretty solid. Yeah, I would say it's a 6.2.
I really enjoy it. I'd give it a 7.3.
Wow.
I think you're in the flash rating. Flash rating.
I've had it before. I could drink 3 of them.
6.2 is bad.
I could drink 3.
It's above average, Alex.
Barely. It's not something you'd seek.
We're drinking Alex water again.
Again, I had a Sunny D on last week's show, Grant.
You
That's
did.
right. Did have a Sunny D.
So you watch your mouth.
Sunny D's.
All right.
Oh.
Welcome in to the #1 sports podcast in the entire state of Michigan, especially after the Chief of Propaganda bump. Thank you, Chief.
Best show of all time was last
I
week.
have-
Go listen to it, then come back and
What
listen
were
to
the
this one.
numbers on that?
I think it was about. I haven't checked. I'll check right now. I think YouTube, the video alone, got up to 100 views. Now,
Yeah, I saw
What's
that
the
popped up on my
retention
feed, and
rate?
it was at 91, and we usually get like 4.
It varies.
You don't have to say that out loud.
we're gonna bleep all the confidential numbers. Chief bump. If Chief listens, if he wants to know, I will DM him. But 126 right now in the actual audio episode, and over 100 on YouTube. So that's over 230 listens to last week's show, which is pretty solid. Pretty solid. So that's gotta feel
A
good.
lot
for
of
Chief
interactions
Propaganda.
on that tweet.
Mhm.
Showed 10,000 people viewed the tweet or whatever.
So yeah, like Evan said, if you missed it somehow, go back and listen to that. This show will still be good. I'm not going to promise as good. I can't promise that to you. Tonight is Tuesday, August 29th. #1 sports podcast. Like I said, it is 7:29 p.m. on the East Coast, and college football is officially back going into this week. I'm a week 0 hater. There, I said it.
Week 0.
Week
Stand
0
up for week
hater.
0.
Week 0
Sit
sucks.
down for week 0.
Stand up for week 0.
Did you guys watch any football?
And that's because you didn't watch the San Diego State Ohio game. You were too busy.
Well, I certainly didn't.
I didn't see a snap of college football.
Didn't see the
I saw 2
USC
snaps.
game because we were busy.
I watched like all of the Notre Dame
They didn't
Navy
cover.
game.
I watched
Frauds.
the first half of it, the most boring game I've ever watched in my life. And then, I was like, this is a
An
waste of
athletic team
time.
versus an unathletic team in a week earlier game. What'd you expect?
That's why week 0 is overrated. They're
Correct.
not. They're like preseason games. No one watches the preseason. Do you watch?
Correct.
If you watch NFL preseason for real, you're a psychopath. It's a terrible product.
Well, that freshman from USC looks pretty bomb.com.
He did, and I saw his sweet
looked
clips
athletic.
on X.
I saw a quote graphic from
calling it
PFF
X.
that he's the next Jalen Waddle.
I saw Reggie
Oh.
Bush.
Okay, he's not Reggie Bush.
I mean, he was fast. So that basically just means he's Reggie Bush because he plays for USC.
Reggie Bush was a running back, though.
So
no,
dumb.
I mean, he was an all-purpose Heisman Trophy winner that is no longer his Heisman.
Actually, he's not a Heisman Trophy winner.
Well, that's what I said. But
He's
he
actually
is
just a
repealing
member
that.
of Fox Big Noon. That's his claim to fame.
And Detroit Lions famous running back, Miami Dolphins running back, New Orleans Saints running back.
I'm just saying.
I think of him as a saint when I think of his career.
I think of him as a Detroit Lion.
That's
Really?
insane.
He was on our playoff team.
Saint.
He was good for us.
What are we going to talk about on today's show, you ask? Well, we're going to talk about weekly check-ins. Won't be as jam-packed because we're back to the weekly schedule. I was like, oh, yeah, I haven't really done that much since it's not a 2-week time frame. Then we have news and notes, some quick things around sports. And then the meat of the show is going to be spent on college football, both of our local teams here, Michigan State. Not so much the first game because they should be comfortable wins, but more so the
Knock on
latest
wood, man,
news and season predictions. and some superlatives for the season. And then we'll do also our national college football takes, because college football is in a very interesting spot this year that I think that we'll all have some thoughts about. And then next week, for you NFL snobs, people that I just don't see eye to eye with, where they're like, oh, I wouldn't watch college football if you paid me. NFL's so better. I like it all. I love the grass. I love the colors.
There's
I
a lot
love
of fans
the
out there
football.
that
To
only watch
you
NFL.
specifically, Grant, who has said that to you?
My dad does not
Okay.
love college football nearly. He'll watch it, but he's
that's
an
what I
NFL
figured.
guy. Just I want to watch grown men
After
get
all
paid
those
to
years
do
of
it, Grant.
watching his eyes burn from the lines, and he still is like, yeah, NFL, it's it. It's it.
Yeah, NFL's king. Isn't there one guy, that guy on 97.1, Hatchet
That's
Man,
not-
hates college football, doesn't
That's
he?
not your friend.
Who said it to me? He said it in my
Yeah.
ears when I
He
listened.
did actually say it to you.
He loves
you were listening.
He loves the blue wall, though. Isn't he a huge Michigan fan?
Yeah. And
There's
he's
a
a
liar.
Michigan Steelers fan.
I know he's a Steelers fan.
To the Browns. So for those people, long story short, this is not the episode for you. We will talk about the Lions next week as they head to Arrowhead, which is crazy. That's already
Alex heads to Arrowhead.
crazy. That's on Thursday too, so it's going to be here before we know it. Normally Alex starts weekly check-ins, but I'm going to throw a curveball.
Oh,
I want
Pivot.
Evan to go because I believe Evan has
Pivot.
a big announcement to make in his life of something big that happened to him last night.
Life altering.
life altering. Like, life altering.
Evan is having a kid.
I hope everybody's sitting down because this is life altering. Your 2023 men's late night Monday league champion. League champion right here. Me and friend of the podcast, Drew, we were going into last night in second place, down 6 points, needed 6.5 to win. And 6.5 scoring margin to win, not just a 6.5 total points, 6.5 scoring margin to win. And we blew them out of the water. It wasn't close. We won 23-7.
So that's a 16 scoring margin.
Yeah.
Good math there.
Worried
Okay.
you're gonna mess that up.
Well, those are tough numbers there for me. I don't like that. Those aren't football numbers.
So usually, like, a buck kicking's usually around, like, 18, 19. Like, sometimes you get 20 points. Alex, has anybody else scored more than 23 points this year on the league? Have you heard of it? I've heard 21, 21 and a half.
Garrett and I took 22.5 once, but never 23.
Mm.
So no,
It
I
was-
think that might be the highest score of the year.
It was so bad that we were walking to the 8th green, and the people that we were playing against already congratulated us on the win. They said it's over. Congratulations, guys, league champions.
Were they in second place or were
They were
they
in
first?
first.
They were in first with a 6-point lead. We were in second.
Wow.
Thanks to the rain, because otherwise Alex would have lost the league championship 2 weeks earlier.
Well, I was going to par out, and it would have been fine.
You sure about that? You were going to be down 13-2 after 4 holes.
Shout out me and Wilkins for playing the first place team last week and grinding away at a near split to keep it close.
But no, great night on league.
Real quick, can you turn your gain down a tiny bit?
Oh, am I speaking too loud?
No, it's just
When you get close to the mic, it is louder than normal.
No, I like you close to the mic. It's just the mic saying it itself. So it's like talk now.
Okay, now golf league.
Yeah. And then you can just close. If you still get close, you're still good.
Golf league. First time Drew and I ever came close, and then we won it. Celebrated with a couple shots. Great time in the clubhouse afterwards. I don't know what else to say.
Your
besides I can't
trophy?
see my-
It turns out your life doesn't change much.
No.
It's fun
Trying to
until
joke about it.
then
Get
it's
our name
over.
on a plaque in the clubhouse,
Yeah,
and
Okay.
I think we get like a high five and probably like $5 for
you
winning
get
the
some
league.
money. You get some money.
Yeah.
Less than fantasy football payout or more?
Way less than fantasy football payout.
Wow.
No,
Fantasy
it's
football's
not way less. What do we
It's
get in
way
fantasy
less.
football? 300.
350.
To 350.
Yeah, you get about half that. A little less than
Wow. Put a name on a plaque. But
that. You get like
a trophy in
300 as a
fantasy
team.
football.
I think it's like
Oh,
150
fantasy
a
football's a
person.
big time league.
If I get 150, yeah, I'm telling Drew not to spend that all in one place.
It
And
might not
last
be that
place
much.
doesn't have to do
Garrett always
anything.
keeps all the money. I've never seen
Well, I
it.
should get skin money too because I had 3 birdies last night, Grant.
Holes 1,
1, 6, and 9.
9.
Birdie one. That's how
a
you
win.
knew you were having a good night.
I played my second shot into greens is what saved me. Like I was pin hunting and
You were Scotty Scheffler.
I was
Without
made-
the putter.
2 putts. So
Better putter than him.
great time. Other than that, let's see what else I do during the week. Super busy. Friday nights, watched high school football. Power went out Thursday.
Big
Big storm.
storms. Big storms.
Power was out Thursday. The worst night. Like, there's nothing worse. Everybody says they'd rather be warm than cold. Liars. They're
I would.
liars.
No, I really would.
I would not when you're trying to sleep. You wouldn't.
Yes, Evan.
No, you would not rather be warm, sweating and laying in bed trying to sleep rather than be cold.
If we're talking like cold as in like under 32 degrees.
I'm talking about like cold. You're trying to get in your tent on a camping trip and you're laying down and you're shivering.
Yeah, no, give me the heat.
No,
No, give me the
Alex.
cold.
I can't sleep in the cold. I just
For sleeping cold is good.
Yes, I fell asleep on the camping trip while I was doing that.
I can't
That's
do
a,
that.
that's a clip.
It wasn't that funny.
No, Alex,
rather be
sleeping
cold.
wise, you gotta be cold.
So
Yeah,
storms.
50 degrees, sure. We're talking below freezing.
Get blankets.
It's
Yeah.
never enough. Get a fan.
There's no power. I can't do anything.
Ice. Bathe yourself in cold water and then get in your bed.
No power. I can't make ice. There's no power.
Cold water. Pour it on
I can't
your
run the
body
water.
and
There's
sleep
no
in front of
power,
a
Alex.
fan.
There is no power.
You
I
have a
can't do
well in
anything.
your backyard.
It
Your
runs
well
by
water.
pump that is run by power.
I
Toilet
don't know what
water.
you're trying to comprehend here. Like
Toilet
nothing
water.
works when the no.
So you're telling me you didn't drink water for 3 days?
I showered at work for 2 days. Friday and Saturday I showered at work.
Men's locker room.
Actually, I think Garrett showered at work Thursday, Friday as well.
So, and then let's see, Saturday was a very busy day, but very fun day. Fantasy football draft. You guys were there.
It was. was fun.
Grant, we were leaving the fantasy football draft, and I wish I would have put my hand up for one of your rules proposals. I will never wear a dress
Yeah,
shirt
it's probably
and
it.
jacket to a fantasy draft ever again. I was uncomfortable the entire time. I was uncomfortable the entire time. It will never pass. That rule will never.
I don't
it
think
will
it'll
never
ever be
happen
brought
again.
up again. I don't expect
It'll be the
anyone to
commissioner's
propose
first
that.
and only veto.
It was a good idea. It was a very good idea, but it will never happen again.
Yeah,
I was
just
worried
can't.
about getting dirty. I was cold. I was uncomfortable. I couldn't move my arms freely.
I mean, maybe you have a bad dress shirt.
That's why Evan dipped out of so many auctions because his hand couldn't get
My
it
need a
hand
up.
new
wasn't up
dress
that high. My dress shirt's fine, but it's just like you can't move fast. You can't be an athlete out there.
Yeah, they have dry fit dress shirts. Get one.
So fantasy draft was actually fun, good time. And then Sunday I had my company picnic member appreciation.
It probably
I
was
enjoyed
better than
it.
it sounds.
It was nice weather, good food.
Awful.
So
Did you get
they
any
had spotted
appreciation?
cow ice cream,
Evan,
Alex.
I mean, Grant,
What?
you can't say stuff like that.
What? Did you get any appreciation?
Yeah,
Did the
that
company
sounded
appreciate?
Dirty.
I don't know what happens at your place of work, Alex, but that's a normal thing to ask. Did anyone
Don't
appreciate
bring
Evan?
my workplace into this. Get fired.
I got a little award for being like a rookie coach.
A
So
little award, Alex. See?
It was good. That was my week. And then middle school football practice started today was the second day. Monday was the first day.
I meant to ask you that, but I thought I'd save it for this because it was too much to text out. What's the ramp-up period look like for middle school football? Do we go helmets first, and then shells, and then full pads, or how does it work?
Correct. 2 days of helmets, 2 days of shells, and then live.
So have you had the first padded practice yet?
No.
Oh, I'm going to need
Tomorrow
to
will be
report
the
back
first
on
day
how
of
that
shells
goes.
practice.
I can't wait to see the first day of pads.
Shells are for losers. Put them all
Shells
on.
are the best.
Shells is
Yeah,
like
if you're
premier.
lazy.
Spoken
wanna
like a
hit.
guy.
Spoken like
a
I only played
didn't
freshman
play
football.
because shells is the best.
No, trust me, I would get it. As a player, shells is the best.
Especially
We
a
did
skill
shells
guy.
freshman
Like,
year a little bit. After our whole team got injured. But yeah, middle school you should be hitting because you don't know how to tackle.
but once we're able to, there's a certain rules that you have to follow, Alex. As soon as we're able to, we will.
You just line up, do some Oklahoma, try to match up
Can't
with
do
the
that
shortest
anymore, Alex.
kid.
There's rules. You can't do Oklahoma anymore.
Alex,
It's a joke, guys. Get over it.
You'd be a terrible coach.
Well, I
would
would
get
follow
suspended.
and I
So
would
looking
win,
forward to here.
and I'd score more points. than
Exciting. We are supposed to have a scrimmage next Wednesday after 3, 4, 5. It would be 5 practices, and then we're scrimmaging. So let's get after it.
Who are you scrimmaging?
Whiteford and Erie Mason,
I'm not getting any better from those.
and I think Summerfield.
No, Whiteford won a state championship
Yeah,
One
last
year.
year, Alex.
with men's
Did you
team.
say we're not going to get any better from these teams?
Yeah, that's what I said.
Well, Alex, according to you, I'm the worst coach of all time. So, like,
Yeah, you are. You're gonna need to learn, play a little more Madden so you can score more points.
yeah, I'll work on that.
Now that you're a
That
league
was-
champion, you should have a little more pep in your
I'm going to
step.
give up. I'm going to give up coaching middle school football. I'm going to coach golf.
No, you're a
And then
pro
who
golfer.
is your offensive coaching tree inspiration?
Doesn't have one.
Well, I follow the
Jason Harnell.
varsity's
Hmm.
playbook.
You
You're
have
not
to.
like you're not like my dad and Kelly McCray when they said we're not doing wing tee under Menzine and they started airing out and they got yelled at 2 days later and they had to go back.
Well, see, that's why we don't have dads coaching middle school sports.
Yeah.
So I try to do that way. Transitions a little bit easier. Develop. And if we lose, we lose. So what?
Gives you an out though. If things
so what?
if the offense isn't
What are you
good,
teaching
you're well,
kids
it's not
these
my
days?
offense. It's not my offense. Sorry, what
Alex,
do you
we
want
have
me
to
to do?
develop players to get them ready for high school. We don't win a state championship at the middle school level. Can't win a conference. Can't win a district at the middle
The
school.
only
level.
way you learn how to become a winner is by winning.
The only way to overcome adversity is through losing.
You can learn a lot from a loss. The 2 losses you're allowed to have, and then I expect you to win the rest.
Well, we have 6 games, so technically I coach in 12 games throughout the year. What do you think my combined record is going to be? 6 for 7th grade, 6 for 8th
The
grade.
good guy, your good team last year. Do you have them again? Do you have the dog shit team?
Both teams 1-5, 1-5. So 7th grade went 1-5, 8th grade went 1-5 last
You
year.
have 12 games total combined
So 12
record.
games, so 6 for 7th grade, 6 for 8th grade.
You're pulling a 2016 Mark D'Antonio 3-9.
3-9. Which team has the 2
Improvement.
wins? Which team has the 2 wins?
I'm gonna go with the younger, unproven team.
7th graders. Okay.
Evan's 6-6 for sure.
I'll take 3 and 3.
I would only predicted 3-9 because Evan's reaction looks like he doesn't expect a lot from this team.
I'll expect a lot.
Too early to tell. They're just in shells.
Correct. Thank you, Grant.
Alex, any news and notes that you'd like to share?
No,
You were at the fantasy draft.
Nothing.
I'll help you with that.
I was at the fantasy draft. I was at the golf league, and Sunday
Summer's
I
over for you.
didn't do anything. Summer's not over for me. You don't declare my summer over.
You didn't shout out Tottenham last week. You forgot to. Would you like to say anything about that?
Well,
for
they
Dr.
won
Love?
again since then, so they are now off to a great start to the Prem. Bad news, they do this every year. and then they fall apart.
Mhm.
So
They really
It's-
do. It's kind of nice.
I have a
Let's see
question
it.
for you, Alex, about the Hotspurs.
yeah.
Do you feel bad that you can't sing the song anymore that you just got caned?
I thought about that actually on
Oh.
Saturday when we were winning.
caned.
I wanted to just still send that video in the chat, but just didn't feel right. It does suck. I hope there's another song like that.
I have breaking news before I give my.
49ers might trade Nick Bosa to an unnamed AFC team because Wilkins found it on a Reddit named by Josh Rosen.
Yep, connected
Get outta
dots here.
here.
Listener Cody with
Slime.
the C passed along a Reddit screenshot from an inside source for the Niners. He claims he's the same Redditor who broke the Christian McCaffrey to the Niners news before it happened. So I'm going to take this guy's word as his bond. Nick Bosa
His name is
being
Josh
traded
Rosen.
to an unnamed AFC team. Oh, AFC is what I read? Okay, so not us. That sucks. What's the landing
Why did
spot,
you think
guys?
it was
Pick your
us?
landing spot.
Let's
Buffalo.
pick what AFC teams.
Miller
What
on
AFC teams?
Buffalo.
Who's got
Kansas
picks?
City
Who's
would
got
be incredible.
picks? Who's got picks? Who's got picks? He's going to want to go to a winner.
It's Buffalo, Kansas City, Cincinnati, or Jacksonville.
AFC goes play with his brother in the Chargers.
Miami, LA.
Miami doesn't have any picks. There's no way.
Denver.
Ew.
Denver has 0 picks.
Disgusting. Go there to die.
He goes to the Titans.
He feels like a Raven.
No. Another place to go die.
Oh, feels like a Raven.
AFC
You like-
Steelers.
Stillers.
I
TJ.
have Watt and
And
Bosa. now.
Bosa.
He's a Raven. My bet is Ravens.
I'll go with
Oh, the Chargers.
the Bungles.
My
I go with
week-
he goes nowhere.
Let's see. I didn't do anything really till Friday that was notable. I went to a concert by the artist name of Spencer Crandall. I'm not sure if any
Spencer.
of you guys have heard of him. He's a
Very
very
bad with artists
small
and-
country artist
Oh,
at St. Andrews Hall in Detroit. First time being at the venue. Pretty cool venue. Definitely a very intimate, like tight venue, not big by any means, but that means there's no bad seats in the house. So that was cool. It just frustrated me. I don't understand people in personal space. I wasn't trying to be over dramatic to it, but when you're just like standing still at a concert, barely moving, I just hate when people are swaying back and forth and like bumping into your elbows and they just don't care about it. To the point where I was like, all right, you know what? Let's move to the back where there's more room because I don't need to be that close to Spencer Crandall. I don't want to get bumped in my elbow all night. And
Grant,
maybe
you're getting
I'm soft
old
for
and
that,
crabby.
but it's just
Like quickly getting old and crabby.
But like, think if you're
No, I get
was-
it. But you sound
I'm
like a
in the
50-year-old.
middle.
I'll be honest.
There's two couples to our left and right. The guys, it's the classic. They got their arms around their girl's like waist, and they're swaying and bumping my elbows, and my hands are in my pocket, and my drink's like this, and they're just they're hitting me.
you need to
It's like,
sway
I'm
with
not-
them. Sway with them, Grant.
Just get in the rhythm. Get in.
It just we all just like bounce into each other. I didn't want to do that.
Yeah.
I'm like, maybe I'm old. I'm past that stage. I don't want to be touched.
just kind of a grumpy, crabby old man.
Well, the back was a great
Like, do you
experience.
yell at your
We actually
neighbors?
No, I don't care what my
You throw
neighbors do.
sticks at other people's yards? Probably.
No. I just don't like to be touched like that many times in a row. So that was the only downside. But other than that, great night. Got sneaky drunk. Classic. We've all been there. You had a couple
Ooh.
beverages. You get home, you're like, whoa, lay down. I'm kind of drunk. I didn't think I was that drunk. Smashed. Oh my God. I should give a shout out to, I don't know where, but this McDonald's was the juiciest Big Mac and McChicken I've ever had in my life. Like this,
like that.
the sauciest, like just oozing out of the patty and the burger. It was so delicious. So shout
That's
out to whoever
So
made that.
dirty.
No, like just mayo dripping out,
Yeah, that's
special
gross.
Big Mac sauce just
Too
dripping
much
out. It was so
sauce
good.
is not only you
Mm-mm.
would think that's like
Big
getting
Mac
your,
sauce is
that
good.
means your fingers got all gross and then you probably licked them.
Yeah,
It sounds like
so
a nightmare
good.
for me. I can't
That was
even
great.
think about it.
hit the spot. So woke up Saturday not feeling at 100%. Ran a bunch of errands and then fantasy draft. Shout out to Marty, the auctioneer. I thought he did a great job, especially for being drunk. Sneaky, one of the funniest parts of the draft was like whenever we'd have a confusing trade, he'd be like, "You guys just tell me what to do. I'm kind of drunk." Just the man operating the big board was like, "You know what? I'm a little drunk." Yeah. Overall, I think I like my team. Which probably means I don't, but I don't think you want to like your team after the draft. In my
Someone at the
experience.
clubhouse
If I like my team,
yesterday
it's not
said
good.
something about your team, and it wasn't me.
Who was it?
Can't say.
I can handle it.
It
Say
wasn't
it's
Glowing
top
heavy?
Marks.
Too top heavy. That's fine. That's fair. It is too top
No,
heavy.
it wasn't even no compliment.
Just it's bad. It's a last place team.
sucks.
Well,
That is a bad team.
as long as Justin stays healthy, you can't come in last place in a league with Justin Jefferson. You can't. It'd be impossible.
I'm sure someone's done it.
And then they're bad at managing their team. Because if he's really good, I could flip him for a bunch of players, and then I can't be bad.
You could do that, yes.
If he gets hurt, all bets are off. Those are the only two things. I think without further ado, let's move into news and notes. First thing, just get out of the way. I know we said we weren't going to talk about him anymore, and we're not really talking about him specifically, but Dan Campbell held a press conference, and thankfully the beat writers were following up on the whole, once JMO's suspension starts, is he allowed to get rehab at our facility? And I believe his suspension starts today officially, and the NFL still had no answer for it. And that pissed me off pretty bad, because as a league in the NFL that claims they want player safety above everything, the fact that they can't bend a little bit, which is for an already absurd suspension, to just let the guy receive medical treatment at a place with licensed doctors that your league has hired, would be absurd if they force JMO to get rehab outside of the Lions facility. And if he does have to, I'd like to send him to Evan and Adrian. I think that's where he should
We
go.
can do it. We'll welcome him. We'll get you right,
Wait,
buddy.
is it? I mean, that's insane, right? I'm not being old man yells at clouds. It's absurd, that
It's
policy.
annoying, but I also don't want to talk about it.
Oh, come on, Alex. He's your guy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
so you're
But like
you're
we
bowing
can
the
talk
knee
about
to
this
Roger
for
by
hours.
being silent about it. We shouldn't be silent.
Yes.
This is bullshit. It's bullshit.
It is bullshit.
Roger's a dictator. And
The suspension's too long.
That's
and
where it
they're being
is.
absurd about his actual health matter. What if his hamstring never recovers in the right way?
that would be unfortunate.
It'd be
No
life
one's.
altering.
I don't think anyone's going to listen to that. My point is that no one's going to listen to this and be like, "Yeah, no, I disagree with you guys." That's my point.
Yeah,
we can all whine and
You're
cry
right.
about it. Like no one's going to disagree.
It just felt good to vent. I just wanted to get that off my
There's
chest.
probably
I
a
felt we
couple
do a
people out there,
disservice.
Alex, that actually would be like, you know what? Good riddance. I don't want him on the team anymore.
Scumbag. See ya.
Yeah, probably like Rick from Redford or something. You can probably picture the profile of a guy.
Wow,
Like,
great.
you know what? Forget
That-
this guy.
Redford? Do you have something against Redford?
Well, remember the no, it's just I wanted to do the alliteration of Rick from Redford.
Rick from Royal Oak.
Rick from Royal Oak. Rick from Roscommon.
Rochester Hills. Grant. where you
Rochester
live.
Hills. Roscommon. Rick from I can't think of it.
Romeo.
Romeo. Tigers baseball. I
Nope.
saw it everywhere, so I had to put it in there. JV and Mickey tipped the cap. Did that do anything for you guys? Did that make a move at all? Any
No.
sentimental?
Little Evan's probably crying somewhere, I'll be honest.
Yeah, I knew this was a little Evan with the Stafford and everything. Like, this is a little Evan wheelhouse.
Never won a World Series. Never will.
I thought it was pretty cool. Yeah, I didn't like need to see it 15 million times like that I did, but it was cool to see it. Justin
haven't
Verlander
even
going
seen
to be
it.
inducted into the Hall of Fame as a Astro. We think that question came up between some family members this past weekend, and I think he might be an
That's where he
Astro.
won.
2 World Series. I
Oh.
think I would do that.
Yeah. I'm gonna say yeah. He probably goes in
I'm
as
gonna
an
say
Astro
I'm gonna
with-
say he's going in as a Tiger.
That'd be huge. Well, not really. It doesn't
Cy
really matter,
Youngs,
but that'd be nice
MVPs.
for people's morale.
But before we get into the Major League Baseball, just tell him that we're building a statue for him. So then he has to go in as a tiger.
This
Is that
is
where
where
we're at in this
I
pathetic franchise?
Alex, he's one of the best pitchers in
the fan
terms
base
of
needs
baseball
that.
organization.
All we have to hope for is that Justin Verlander gets put in the Hall of Fame as a Tiger. That's all we have
Yeah.
right now.
that and
That and
yeah.
Spencer Torkelson's still raking.
Yeah, we have bigger problems. Let's try to
Green, Kerry Carpenter. Matt Chapman's going to be a free agent, and we're not going to sign him.
let's try to win games.
The Miguel Justin Verlander thing reminded me of another debacle in my life. I'm going to keep it quick, but Bally Sports Plus might have the dumbest customer service system in the entire country.
Mhm. Call him
I
I bet you Matt
Wanted-
Shepard's behind it.
Grant, I'm not keeping a list, but this might be your fourth complaint of the show, and you're kind of really getting into this 50-year-old man thing.
Old man yells at clouds. This
What?
one's absurd, Alex. My payments for my August subscription were not going through. They kept failing in my credit card statement. So I realized the problem quickly. My billing zip code on my credit card had changed because I moved locations from when I had started the account. So I needed to change it from one to the next. A very simple thing. I had already done it on Amazon, on other accounts. Oh, I didn't do it for Bally Sports. I go into their system, pull up my credit card information. I can customize everything on the credit card, but not the billing zip code. It's locked. It says, in order to change your billing zip code, you must call customer support. I call customer support at 8 o'clock on a weeknight. Bless you, Alex. Shout out to
Thanks.
them for picking up, but it's a classic call center. They're not, they're just doing their job, but they don't know everything about the business. But I get to the point where they understand my problem, and we get through all this, and they go, oh, we can't change that for you either. Well, what do you mean? I called you. Your website redirected me to you. Can you just type in 5 different numbers over the previous 5 numbers, so then you can start taking my money every single month? I'm trying to give you endless money, a monthly subscription, a dream for a company. No, I'm sorry, we can't do that. It's like, so I was nice. I didn't raise my tone. I just said, so no one in your company can change the billing zip code. I said, no, sir, no one can. I was like, what? Is this nuclear codes? Why can't we change my zip code? So the long story short is they're like, go to this link. Well, first of all, is cancel your subscription, which is the craziest thing to ever tell a customer to do. Cancel your subscription to our company.
And never
So,
come
all right,
back.
Bet, I'll do it. Go to this link, you're going to re-sign up. All right, fine. So I go to the link she gives me, and it says, enter your zip code to start a new account. Perfect. Problem is, it says in little red error text, sorry, sir, you already have an account, and it's tied to the old zip code, and you cannot change it when you sign up. You need to call customer support. So it's an endless loop of calling customer support, and no one can change the zip code. And she's like, oh, maybe give it 24 hours, and maybe it'll refresh that your subscription's gone. Newsflash, has been a week. It hasn't updated. I think I have to use an old credit card to get Bally Sports Plus, which I will do begrudgingly, but it is the most infuriating system that they've set up. And that was my rant, and that's a justified rant. Next topic.
Cancel Bally Sports. That's all I'm hearing. That's what I'm
Cancel,
hearing.
but you
Cancel it.
will be
It's already
getting
a
my
bad
money
property.
when it's Cade Cunningham and Red Wings season. I'm going to wait till then, and I'm going to buy it again.
Most high releases to the
Um,
playoffs. Oh my gosh, it'd be so awesome.
Derek Lalonde said today he expects the team to be in the playoff hunt and to be
It's
a real
on us
factor.
now. It is on us now. Front office
That's the
didn't
quote.
do any good. It's on us now.
Lucas Raymond gained 9 pounds. He said you wouldn't recognize him.
Yeah. I was actually going through my closet the other day, and I forgot I have a Most High jersey.
Forgot you bought.
I didn't know you had one, so that's new for me too.
He
forgot
bought
I had
it
one.
on
Ivan,
his birthday.
how's the 75 hard going?
That is the most not 75 hard. You had 40 different things that you just cut out.
Alex, let him answer the question, please.
It's a challenge
it's like
that
a
you
30
modify.
soft.
Just
It's like a 30.
I'll take
soft.
30 soft.
That's
But
more
I'm
of
gonna
what
still
it
do it
is.
for 75 days. Granted, I forget to do my push-ups every morning. I've been doing them at night, but I forget to do them every
Me
morning.
too. No, I don't. I don't want to let the group down, but yeah, I've done them one morning since I sent that
I'm gonna
message.
start adding it into my alarm to do push-ups that way, because I can definitely do them Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'd feel bad to do them at home, but I do them at home at night. So Just do them in the morning. But
What feels
my
bad about doing them at
75,
home?
just in the morning, like I'm trying to like get like sleep in as long as possible, and
I
then
thought
like
you were
go to.
worried that like someone would see you doing them and you'd be.
I don't care if somebody sees me doing push-ups. It's just
I've been
Monday,
doing
Wednesday,
push-ups
Friday.
naked, so yeah,
I
it's
have
the problem.
yes. That way I know the proper depth.
Hmm.
It's. I think I'm sticking to it.
Have you done it? Because you drank last night.
Yeah, I've been doing it ever since. I was doing it like the
And you're
previous.
drinking right now.
Yeah, I'm
Drinking's
drinking for
allowed.
the show. I'm drinking for the
Oh, I
drinking
guess.
is allowed.
Yeah, in the 30 soft.
That's why I have my
you
water.
can drink.
I've been meal prepping my lunches. I'm currently reading a book at school. So, and what else is the last thing?
And then when you get absolutely obliterated on Friday and eat a whole bunch of bad food and then do it again Saturday.
Correct.
But
Correct.
built
Correct.
in,
That's why.
30 soft.
But built in. Built in. Oh, and then workouts. Yes. I've been up and down on those, but pretty all right with them.
Meal prep is so tough. I mean, it's just such a grind to do.
It just sucks doing it Sundays for a week.
Yeah.
And then
Well, I
I'm like,
enjoy
I
like
don't
that
wanna
stuff,
eat
so
this
it's
shit
easy for
again.
me to do it.
I just hate cleaning dishes.
Eat it too. It sucks.
You don't have a dishwasher?
Oh, I do.
Dude,
Well,
but like
Grant
for the
doesn't
big
do
stuff,
a
like the
dishwasher,
pans
so-
and the bowls and all that, that's what just grinds me. The sink's not big enough to handle that.
Put it in and just do a quick wash on the washing. They're like, there's 4 things in there. There's 4 things in there. Who cares?
I like that approach. The last thing, I just caught my eye. I thought it was funny. A classic debate of old school, new school. Charles Barkley was on the Dan Patrick Show and said the bad boys would break Steph Curry in half if they ever played him. And I didn't know if I agreed or not. And I was curious what you guys think.
I don't think we would have
I
an
disagree.
opportunity to break Steph in half because he would still stay out and shoot. Like Steph drives every now and then,
Yeah,
but he's
He would
not.
break their brains.
He's not shooting 12-foot jump shots like the 80s and early 90s where they were doing.
Yeah, no, he would just do what he normally does.
I do think Isaiah could pose some challenges for him. I'm not saying the Warriors would easily win a series because I would be curious to see how that played out. But I don't think like Steph Curry's not going to only average 10 points in this series. He'd still score like 25, 30 points in some games against the
The
bad
game is
boys easily.
completely different now.
Yeah, I don't. I
Yeah.
think they both would. Both teams would be successful in what they do, and the Warriors would probably win because they
I
they're
think it'd be
getting
very
threes.
good. I think it'd be a very good series, just defense and offense. It's the same thing like the 04 Rashid and somebody else came out and said that the 04 Pistons would beat the Warriors now.
That team probably wouldn't.
You gotta have some dudes.
The bad boys probably would. I love Rashid saying that, though. That's Rashid's MO. That's what he's built to do, is just to say provocative things.
So
Who knows?
Okay.
We'll never know. It's one of those pointless
That's
things to
right.
talk about.
Alex hates these debates. He
I do
absolutely
things that
hates
you
them.
can't ever really know. They
And
annoy
those are
me.
my favorite, and that's why we had a lot of late nights as roommates. Because
But Alex, so you're telling me that the-
I'm just telling you,
And
there's no
Michigan
end to these
State-
conversations. That's
the
what sucks
2013
about
Michigan
them.
State, so the 2013 Michigan State debate that they would win national championships.
Grant laughed
pointless.
in my face about that multiple times.
It's true. I know we've had it on the show. I'm a
Yeah,
go
but
Noles
Alex, you
for
said there's
life.
no way to know, so it's a stupid debate. So you're saying
It's a stupid debate to have with someone like Grant who's never gonna not laugh in your face about it.
Oh.
If only those
Only.
PI calls against Notre Dame were BS, though. That clip that was on Twitter was jarring.
There's a realistic
Even
chance
worse.
that even if
It's
we
even
won
worse
that,
now that you rewatch them.
even if we won that Notre Dame game, there's no guarantee we get in with the BCS system to be in the game.
I just wanted the playoff to come a year early, so we were the 4.
Yeah, if that came a year early, then we would have been in.
I don't care about the
I also-
BCS.
Saw a core memory I had forgotten of the clip of Golden Tate jumping into the Michigan State ban. That is something I saw recently on Twitter that I forgot about.
That's a
but I-
core memory for you.
Yeah, I just remember like
Such
young
a
college
loser.
football because no, not like I didn't even watch that game live. I just remember it being a big headline. It was the famous Valenti rant and just that clip of Golden Tate like going full like arms out into the ban and nobody catching him was iconic clip in my childhood. That pisses Alex off. He doesn't like that. I'm just telling you, I watched a lot of college football. Okay, it was a
We
regional
get
game.
it. You're hate watching. You're too
That
Two
and
teams
Michael
you don't
Crabtree
like.
tiptoeing the sideline against Texas is a
That-
core memory.
That was a big memory for me as well as a young whippersnapper.
Yeah.
I almost cried after that game.
No, you did not.
Why?
Oh, I forgot.
Colt
I was a
McCoy.
big Texas guy.
Colt
Oh,
McCoy
the game
was
was
playing
electric.
on the other sideline,
College game
Grant,
day.
and they lost. They lost.
It's when everyone then was in love with Texas Tech. They thought they'd just be awesome forever.
They had a moment.
And they actually
they had a
never-
real moment.
Never did
Colt McCoy's
anything ever.
Arguably one of the greatest college football quarterbacks.
And
of all time.
also got cut this week.
I don't think he did.
No, he did, Evan. He got cut. And they traded for
Who is
Josh
the Cardinals
Dobbs.
quarterback?
Josh Dobbs.
And then Clayton
Colt McCoy
Tune
got
was
cut.
the competition.
Yes, sorry, Evan.
Clayton Tune and Josh Dobbs.
They cut
Where were
your
you when
guy.
Evan found out?
Colt
He's gotta
McCoy
be-
got cut.
Yeah.
Bring him to the
He's gotta be
Lions. Bring him
He's
to the
gotta be
Lions.
45.
He's
Dude,
old as
36.
shit.
Still
He's
good.
only
Played college
36.
2006.
It's a shame he got
If,
hurt in that title
if somebody
game.
could find me a Colt McCoy Texas jersey that's like authentic, I'll buy it from him, please.
How much?
All right.
Cardinals released Colt McCoy. That is disgusting.
Jonathan Gannon. Not
Don't
a
worry,
fan.
Colt McCoy is back. The Patriots have interest in him.
He hasn't been signed, Evan.
Oh, well, interest is good enough for me.
Oh yeah, because they gotta replace Zappy. All right, let's move into the
You should hang
meat
it up.
of the show. Do you guys want to start with our teams, or do you want to start with national college football?
Don't care.
Let's do the Browns.
Lose to the Browns.
Let's do
National.
National.
There it is.
Evan, you go
Um,
first. Because I want to rip apart one of your teams that you like.
Well,
Who do you want me to say?
we're gonna do playoff
You know my
predictions at the
final
end
teams.
of this part. The first thing we need to set the stages is that there's some new rules in college football that I think we need to make sure we're all
I
on the
know
same
one.
page on going into this year. What is it, Alex?
First
Clock
down
don't
rule.
stop. Clock don't
I
stop.
told my dad that when
Be
watching
wild.
the Notre Dame Navy game. He's like, "Oh my god, great change." You know
Talk
what's,
about old
you know
man
what's
yells at
bad about
clouds.
it?
Talk about old man
I saw a
reaction.
stat that says the game itself, actual gameplay, is reduced by 15%, so it's faster. Total time of broadcast from start to finish is down
Always
1%.
increased.
So
Yeah.
it's just
'Cause of
more commercials. That's all
Commercial
we get.
breaks are going to be longer now.
That's all we get. We just get more commercials, more TV timeouts, more garbage.
I hope they bring back the BK Whopper then. If we're gonna have more commercials, I'm gonna need that.
Bring back Larry Culpepper.
And just flip channels. That's the best part about college football.
Who's
There's
Larry
always
Culpepper?
another game on.
He's a Dr. Pepper guy with the glasses, weird hairdo. Before they brought him
Oh,
into Dr. Pepperville or whatever it was
I
called.
like the sweet one. It's the sweet one.
No,
That Dr. Pepper.
no.
Right,
Prince?
Dr. Pepper
Mini
Cherry?
Prince.
No, bring back Larry Culpepper. You know who Larry Culpepper
I know
is.
who Larry Culpepper is.
Oh, is he
No,
the guy that like works the games in the stands?
No, you
Grant,
remember Larry
that
Culpepper.
carries
It
it?
is a core memory for you.
You don't watch
worry, I'll send
college
it to you.
football.
I remember the early days of Chick-fil-A when they used to have those cows just flying in, and I've been, oh yeah, the guy that works at the games. He's got like he's the vendor,
Yes.
Larry Culpepper.
If I can find you, there you go. I just sent it to you on TikTok.
He does.
Larry Culpepper.
That picture of him holding the drinks.
Bring back Larry Culpepper.
That one is funny.
So we have that. There's also, so it still stops in the last 2 minutes of the game on first downs, I believe.
Yeah.
You can no longer ice kickers with multiple timeouts.
Sorry, Mel, you
can
can't
only
burn
take-
all three
Sorry,
timeouts on
Jake
Jake
Moody.
Moody. He's going to make them all.
It's
Yeah,
6
only
in a
take
row.
one
What a
timeout.
display.
I don't think there was any other big ones besides those two.
There's not.
Only down 1%, Alex. You were reading those stats?
Yeah.
Did you guys hear the biggest rule for our lives in the conference that we root for?
Big Ten.
If Alex doesn't know it, then I
What
would
was the
be a little
question? Sorry.
disappointed. Because do you know the biggest change
Injury
this year
reports.
in the conference? Boom.
You have to?
2 hours before the game.
2 hours before kickoff, you have to have a legitimate injury report. So we no longer have to rely on our beat reporters going through, like, I don't see this guy dressed. This guy's dressed. They
Going
probably
through
still
pregame
will.
Mel is
warm-ups.
probably stewing about it, but it's about
2
time.
hours before.
Now, I don't know
But
how
is it like-
detailed that to be.
So Evan, when
But
we're at the
is it-
tailgate, it's 10 a.m. I will be on my phone reading to you. Everybody, that's
Actually,
injured.
Alex, we don't play
Underneath-
noon games at home. We don't play noon games at home.
Sorry, at 1:30 before 3:30 or 4.
1:30 and 3.
I will
and
underneath 3 p.m. for the Washington
Sparty
game.
shot.
I will be reading you the injury report.
Yeah, but I'm
Instead
wondering if
of
the
the-
injury report could be like the NFL injury report or like NHL, like lower body injury.
I don't know
Or-
if it's going to say where the injury is. It's just going to say who's playing and who isn't.
Correct, but
Specify,
like-
like
But so 2
Doubtful.
hours before the game, you might not know on a player. Could they say like game time
They're
decision?
probably
Still?
questionable. Now we'll probably just put every single player on the list as questionable.
That's what I would do. I would say game time
Ugh.
decision or questionable. Game time decision. Game time decision.
but at least better than not even knowing that someone's hurt until like kickoff happens.
Which happened.
True, fair.
Like when we went to Purdue and like 8 guys
Baby
were injured,
steps.
and we're like, "What the fuck is happening?"
We didn't have a kicker and he missed a PAT.
Like I didn't know Kenneth Walker was going to be hurt for the Ohio State game.
No one did.
Valid reason.
Exactly. Now they have to list him at least, so you know. Oh,
I like
that's
it.
sick. And big picture wise, this is like the last year of college football as we know it, as they get more increasingly like the NFL. It feels like with mega conferences and whatnot.
Expanded
We'll see how
playoff next
that
year.
goes. Expanded playoff. So enjoy if you like old school college football. Really savor this in for now. Any other big picture things you want to talk about? Maybe this leads into our playoff predictions and whatnot. But I'm curious what you guys think about the overall landscape of the sport and teams.
It is what it is.
Nice.
I've never been for all the conference garbage, but I get it.
Money talks, man. Money talks. It was only gonna be a matter of time.
No, I get it. It's just stupid.
It's just accelerated process. It didn't take like the 6 years from the last time we had a conference realignment. It was only a couple small teams that nobody cared about. Now it's literally everybody.
Yeah, it's just, there's no more.
So-
Conferences are no more.
I don't think it's that big of a deal.
You gonna watch ACC regular season games in movie theaters?
What?
Did you see that?
I am assuming the ACC, to try to get people to watch their games, are putting them in movie theaters.
Correct. You nailed it. And the college football playoff.
No, I won't be, because I don't need to do that.
I could see this crew college football playoff and imagine supporting Jeff
Paul
Glantz.
Glantz is sitting next to me. Then
Paul
yes.
Glantz. Paul Glantz. My mistake.
I want to be able to like talk.
You can talk during a.
But if you're in a
Man,
movie
imagine,
theater,
like,
like
no one
games, imagine you have
No.
to watch a football game in silence.
let me
crazy.
pull up. Let me pull up some. I got to think of my playoff teams.
I already got my 4.
All right, Evan, go first.
You should hit a 7 so we can copy you.
I'll tell you which one.
Mark
we're
Okay,
on.
good. Deal. My 4. Let's see. The number 4 seed getting in is USC.
Wrong. I knew you'd say that. Wrong.
Nope, we got the best
next
player in
question.
college football.
I've been
number
loved the
3.
Pac-12.
Is going to be LSU.
Mm.
Number
Outside the
2
box.
is going to be Michigan. And number 1 is the Dogs from the South.
Well, hard to disagree.
Correct.
Minus the
So-
4 seed. That's very inaccurate.
Number 4, I like Clemson. I like Clemson to re-come into
me
the
too.
fold. Mainly
There's only been like
because
6 teams to ever make the playoff, and he picked one of them. Shucks.
they got the OC from TCU, and I think that's really going to shake things up there.
Yeah, he's
Their
Lincoln
defense is
Riley's
supposed to
little
have, and I love to hear that. Clemson's defense got some dogs on it from what I've seen. So they're the 4. The 3, I want to go the 3 this team, but they're the same conference, so it makes it a little tricky. But I'm going to do it. I think Florida State
Gross. Bad
is
answer.
going to make the playoff this year. I don't know how that's going to work between
They
Clemson
lose their
and Florida
first
State,
game,
but
and they lose
maybe
to Clemson
because
twice. Unbelievable.
Florida State beats LSU and then splits with Clemson, they get rewarded with only 1 loss. They definitely be in the playoff then, so that's how it happens. And then I like Michigan as the 2, same as Evan, representing the Big East. And then I'm going to
Oh
maybe
my God,
go
Keon Coleman Moss is somebody to win. Oh, sorry, Grant.
potentially.
Wow.
Potentially. That's the bet I'm
So you're
taking.
saying Florida State beats them in the ACC championship?
I guess that would have to happen. Yeah, I don't know. Is that this is too in the weeds, but like basically the
well, for
home team of the
Florida
regular
State-
season matchup will win. So if it's at Clemson, Clemson will win, and then Florida State will get their revenge.
What if they don't play each other?
They do.
They have to, right? In their little
That's
deep
why they
conference.
both are making the playoffs. That's why it's a bad
I think
thing.
they're in divisions.
They play each
Michigan
other.
and Ohio State made the playoffs last year, Alex.
Oh, Alex, you just
It's a
walked into a
good
bear
conference.
trap from
Evan.
Evan.
There's two conferences that can do that.
What? Just bamboozles your brain.
And the number one seed, I know this is out on a limb, but it feels like it, which is crazy to say. Alabama Crimson Tide wakes up. I'm not sure who the quarterback is, but it's going to be someone serviceable, and they will be the number one seed in the country on a revenge tour.
Milroe, whatever his name was, the one that played against Arkansas.
Georgia won.
Oh no, it can't be that guy.
Well, it's
He
him
can't
or the
even
Notre
throw.
Dame transfer, and he hasn't won it yet.
I know
Alabama.
it's crazy that
Well,
no,
Alex,
regrets.
you already finished it. That's your
Georgia,
pick.
number one.
Grant, did you leave Georgia out just so
Yes,
that you
he
have a
did.
chance to win the national championship?
Correct. Well, Evan, they're doing the beat Georgia drill. I don't know if you heard that.
No, my bad. You guys won.
Silly me.
Georgia,
Take that off my book.
1. Michigan, 2.
Oh, they play at Clemson.
Texas, 3. Welcome back. Clemson, 4.
Oh my
Jesus
god, that's the dumbest thing I've ever
Well,
heard.
guys,
Charlie
how
Strong's
are you going
here.
to predict the top 4 if you don't go out on a limb a little bit?
Because they're
I
never
did.
back.
I knew you would pick them.
Well, all they have to do is just
Win every
Win the
game.
Big 12.
That's literally all every team has to do.
lose
Pick Boston
Alabama,
College
win
in
the
your
Big
Final
12.
Four, too.
They're going to lose Alabama, so they're going to have one loss. All right, who's your
Grant,
fourth?
LSU and Florida State play, so one of your guys' playoff teams is already going to have a loss. And
it's
Clemson and
at
Florida
Florida
State
State.
play too,
LSU
so
almost made
there's
it
another
3
loss.
losses last year.
loser. Alabama and LSU play.
It's not-
Another
it's at
team
Camping
of
World
yours
Stadium.
is going to be out.
That can't be
A
World
loss.
Stadium, fine. Who's your fourth team? Michigan State.
Clemson.
All right.
Clemson. But I think
I like
Ohio
that.
State is
Nobody-
just behind them.
No, oh,
Yeah,
my gosh,
no one
I
had Ohio
just took
State.
the words out of my mouth. No one had Ohio State.
I wanted to go Michigan and
That's-
Ohio State, but I just don't trust their offensive line enough.
Well, Alex, if you're not busy on Saturday, September 23rd, Michigan State has a home game against Maryland. Florida State plays at Clemson if you're interested in going to that one.
That early? Oh my goodness.
Yep.
Oh, so Florida State will definitely be in if they lose that, and then they
They
can
have
both
to
get
beat
in.
LSU, Grant, in the first game, or they're
Correct,
dead.
which they will.
But then
You're dead
Evans
if you lose the
playoff team's
first game,
dead.
lose early.
No, they're dead because they're
Lose
losing
early.
in Death Valley.
Mm.
Grant's rethinking it.
Mm.
You should have put
No,
Texas.
I love my four. I love my.
I love my four.
Texas.
Notre
so
Dame.
good.
Did you guys see them beat up that really good Navy team?
Oh my god, they're a
Alex,
joke.
shut up.
USC's
More
gonna
legit
have
with
3
Sam
losses.
Hartman.
I honestly
I
actually
love me some
I
Sam
hope
Hartman.
Texas makes it, but I just don't think they can.
Why
I don't
not?
think Sark's the guy for it.
I hope Michigan plays Notre Dame in the playoffs. I would love that.
Notre
It'd be
Dame's not
bloodbath.
making the playoff. They play Evans team,
Playoff?
USC. Also, I think
Yeah,
USC
you have
is
one loss,
incredibly
Get
garbage.
over this.
Okay, not garbage, but I think USC's
USC
defense
was
is so
one win
bad.
away from winning it last year.
They just can't play defense.
I would
which
take
is a key
Washington
component
over
of football.
USC in the
Oh,
Pac-12.
Notre Dame's going to lose. Oh, they get Ohio State at home. Wow, that is going to be Notre Dame's schedule has 3 losses on it.
Yeah,
actually.
their
Notre
schedule's
Dame
hard.
and Ohio State played the same weekend as Clemson and Florida State.
Evan, also, aren't you worried about your USC
You're telling me
pick?
the 23rd is a mega weekend of college football.
Don't plan any apple picking that weekend. I'm telling you that right now.
My dad's birthday is the next day. Thank God he was born on the 24th.
He's gonna be watching NFL football. He doesn't even care about the 23rd. Grant, let's be honest.
He's got a whole birthday dinner planned out, basically.
Evan,
Oh!
USC's not going to win the
He wants
Pac-12.
a nice steak.
And Ole Miss and Alabama play that week.
USC
Oh
is
my
or
God. They're not gonna
Pac-12
win
is a
Pac-12.
conference of quarterbacks. So many
Pac-12 's the
quarterbacks
conference
in
of
that
death.
conference. Champions.
Oh my gosh! And
Oregon
Peyton Thorne
State,
goes into Texas
Oregon,
A&M.
Washington, Utah.
Oh my god!
They might lose 3 games.
There's
All
going
right.
to be 3. Okay, not to get off the rails here, but
No, it's all right.
September 23rd. There's going to be 3 primetime games that everybody's going to want to watch.
Ivan, just
do I
remember
do?
what happens in
Multi-view.
college football. Good teams in the beginning of the season that we think are good end up blowing, and then some of these games
That never
are
happens.
not marquee. So just
That actually never
remember that when
happens.
you're planning everything out a month from now.
2000. Oh, I love looking.
Alex, I'm
I
not
do
going
what
to
Evan
lose
does,
to
like,
crap
every week.
teams.
Ohio State plays Notre Dame week 2.
Ohio State
Where
did
have you
not
been?
play Notre Dame week 2. They played the
We've
23rd.
just been talking about the mega week.
The
Alex.
mega week is the
Wake up.
23rd.
I'm just telling you what I want to hear what these marquee matchups are, Evan, because they might not be
Iowa,
happening.
Penn State, Ohio State, Notre Dame, Peyton Thorne versus Texas A&M,
That is not a big matchup.
Ole Miss, Alabama,
Ole Miss, Alabama, Clemson, Florida State.
Florida State.
Is this after Iowa loses to Michigan State?
This is
UCLA,
before.
Utah.
The week before.
Iowa's
I
going
like that one.
into Happy Valley, and then
They're
the
gonna get
following
killed.
weekend, Michigan State goes to Kinnick.
and then
Cade
they
owns
kill
them.
them.
And then I think October 21st is a big week too, but we don't need to look that far. ahead.
Michigan State plays Michigan that week.
Right. I think there's a lot
Penn
of
State and
other
Ohio
games that
State play
weekend.
that
We're
week
not.
too, I think.
Yeah, we're not.
That's
gonna
always
get
the
into
same
that
week.
yet.
Why?
Should
I don't know.
Would you guys like to do?
And Tennessee, Alabama. Oh, and Utah, USC. Oh,
Wow,
That's rivalry week, it sounds like.
it sounds like
No,
it
that's-
is.
that's right before Thanksgiving, Alex.
No, Grant, there's 2 rivalry
It's Feast
weeks.
Week actually on ESPN.
That's Feast Week. Rivalry week. Is
I mean, when
Michigan,
you
Ohio
just named
State.
like 10 rivalries in the same week, it sure seems like a rivalry week.
That's like auxiliary rivalry week.
Shut
That's
your
not
mouth, Grant.
rivalry. Week. That's just true, though. That's true.
Really?
Yes, because Tennessee, Alabama is not Alabama, Auburn, and you can't dispute that. Okay, there's rivalry week. At the
Yeah,
end
they're
of the
still
season.
all big rivalries.
It's
That
like
all mean a lot.
B tier rivalry week. That's just a fact.
Michigan
I'm
State,
not insulting
Michigan could
anybody
be in an
saying
A
that.
tier of rivalry. Could be.
Depends on the year.
No.
We've really captivated the national spotlight twice recently.
That's pretty good. I mean, do we forget 2 years ago was an undefeated top 10 matchup in East Lansing? Probably the game of
No,
the
that's one of
century in
two
the
that
state of
I'm
Michigan.
discussing. Like a lot of the other ones, no one
That's
cares
ba-
about nationally.
Very recent, Grant. People care about the Big Ten. I showed you this stat. People watch Michigan State a lot.
I would like to discuss one of those two teams. Would you guys like to do Michigan State first or Michigan
Let's
first?
talk about Michigan's cupcake schedule.
Oh,
Okay. Well, some news and notes that we got from this team. Suspension updates. Sharon Moore is also self-imposing a one-game suspension. The interesting thing about this, for the sweats out there that want to read the tea leaves, that the NCAA accepted this suspension as being good, but they have not accepted Harbaugh's, which makes everyone believe that Harbaugh will be suspended for more games next year by the NCAA if he's still coaching college football.
I like that little nugget right there, Grant, that you said at the
That's
end.
an-
If he's still coaching college football.
If he's still coaching college football, you always have to throw that out there with Jim, as we know. So for your first game, you're thinking, well, it's a coaching situation. Well, they already had announced that Jesse Minter will take game 1 as head coach. But now we know the OC is Kirk Campbell, who went from analyst to quarterbacks coach this offseason. And now for game 1, he's going from quarterbacks coach to OC. So a lot of promotions for people.
Big time,
We'll have,
Brown.
I think we're going to have Jim's dad, Jack, legitimately on the sideline as the assistant head coach, which would be a hilarious visual of that. There's some injuries. I'm not trying to do the gaslight
You are
nervousness,
doing that
but both starting safeties are out. It sounds
against
like
a
Makari
really good
Page
team.
and Rod Moore. And there's some wide receivers. Cornelius Johnson will not be suiting up for this game, I don't believe. I'm just reading rumors that I saw at this point.
I sent
I'm
you
not
one
a
of the
doctor waiting
rumors.
for the availability report, but they're definitely going in a little banged up. Jim was pretty upset about the suspension. He did not call it a slap on the wrist. He said it was a baseball bat to his kneecaps because he hasn't missed multiple games in a row since 1984, which is a great stat just to pull out. For the game itself, what am I keeping an eye on? Not much, really. Just win the game and
You're 36-point
I like-
favorite, so
I guess maybe I'm looking at Blake Corum to see his the way he moves around in between the tackles and seeing how much they actually pass the ball because that's been an emphasis for them. And I guess you just want to see the first look at people in pads in this game. But besides that, just win the game.
How healthy is Blake Corum? That's what I'm looking at.
Yeah.
I'll be
I think it's
honest.
a huge one. It's
I'll
a
be
huge
hate
one.
watching. I always hate watch Michigan.
Same.
Somebody said some MSU accounts thinks that more Michigan fans will watch Michigan State Central Michigan than Michigan East Carolina. And I thought that was being a little bit too generous of thinking that.
Don't take it out because
wouldn't
just because
think
it's on
it's
Peacock,
that.
Grant.
I
mean,
wouldn't say
Michigan
it's
still
that
don't
likely
know it's
because
on
there's no
Peacock.
other games on Friday that you're going to watch.
But how many fans don't know it's still going to be still on
Is there no
Peacock and
other?
they try to find it at noon and can't find it, and then they just start cussing up a storm?
That is going to be a big problem this weekend. A big problem.
I already know my dad's going to have that problem. I tried to prepare him a week ago. He's like, "Oh, I have it." I'm like, "No, yeah, I'm sure you."
I'm going to watch
No, you
Louisville, Georgia Tech, or the Battle of Miami.
Grant, we
Ohio
know what you're
versus
going to
Florida.
do.
That's
You're going to be
electric.
glued into Michigan State Central because you think that Central's going to cover.
I have money on Central, yes, 14.
Oh,
And I also have
Bad bet,
Michigan
boy.
State, though, over 5.5 wins. So I need them to win the
It's a
football
bad
game.
bet.
you're going to
Oh
win
my
the football
God.
game.
It is. I'm actively rooting against your bet.
That's fine. You should. They're your team. Let's do this. I have these down. Let's do the record predictions, official binding record predictions. Since it's your guys' rival, you'll go first. We'll hear from Evan first. What is your record for the 2023 Michigan Wolverines? You can just do out of the 12 regular season games, and then we won't speculate on the playoffs. I say just do the 12 games.
We have them. I have them in the playoffs, so I have them at 11-1.
Would you like to give the loss, or do you just keep
Nope.
it vague?
I am going in vague.
Smart.
I have Michigan going 11-1 as well. Spoiler: I don't have them losing to Ohio State.
Well, one of my follow-ups will talk about the loss, but
Well, I'm not.
My
telling you what the
predictions-
loss was.
for this season, as doomsday as I may have seen with East Carolina, I think this team will and should go 12-0. They have a few really big spots that make me nervous, but the noon kick at Penn State is a godsend. So I think that gives them a very real shot to win that game. As we saw, Ohio State pulled that game out last year despite some early struggles. I think the noon kickoff is game-changing, as dumb as that may sound, but we're college football sweats, and we know how much that matters. So that's what I have.
Can we
What they
just
do
give
after
a
that, I
ceiling
have
and
no
a
clue.
floor for their records for
We
Michigan?
can do that. My
that gives
floor
perspective.
Would be, my floor would be 10-2.
Evan,
Alex, you go ahead.
I
pulling
think
up
Michigan's
Michigan's
floor is
right now.
9-3. I think their peak obviously is 12-0.
Who'd be the third team they lose to? Just for shits and gigs.
It's college football. I think you could easily just drop one to a random team. It happens all the time.
All right.
well, the
I'm not
3-0,
seeing it on the schedule,
4-0.
but
Yeah, that's what happens with upsets, Grant. You usually don't see them.
The Goldie the Gophers upset you, PJ Fleck.
At Maryland,
At Maryland, back to
Looking
back.
ahead,
They'd
Penn
lose the
State.
last 3 games of the year.
I mean,
That'd be devastating.
be injuries. You never know. I'm just saying a floor.
Well,
realistically, I could see is 9-3.
Injury sliders are off for these predictions.
Yeah, I could see
Off.
a way where you lose
Off.
like one of your road games and Penn State and Ohio State. Yes, 9-3.
That's absurd. But I
It's
respect
not absurd.
your
It is not
diversity
absurd
of
at
opinion
all.
on the podcast.
We're talking
That's an
floor.
absurd take. Yeah, that's absurd.
You're delusional.
The good thing, Alex, is
But-
I think the same thing. It's 3.
Yeah, it is because it's you have to be
You
realistic.
want me to say
these
8-4? You lose all your road games?
these are 18 to 22-year-old
Evan.
kids, Grant.
Because
You had two
Grant, let's be honest.
seasons of success.
You
You,
have
haven't
a-
been 10 years in a row.
so do you think the same way about the other playoff contenders, like Georgia could
Yes.
lose 3 games?
They have a new starting
Evan
quarterback in the SEC.
Yes.
Their defense is really good. I think their floor is 10-2.
It's not an
I think
insult to
10-2
say
is fair
that
for
your
Michigan.
worst case
I think it's-
scenario is
I'm just saying-
9-3. I mean, get over yourself.
It is insulting. That's the expectations for this team. That's why that's
I'm not
pressure I live
predicting
with
you
this
to
year.
go 9-3. I'm saying if things go south, you go 9-3. I mean, relax.
No, that's a disaster if they go 9-3.
You have 1, 2.
I'm
three,
hoping that
5 of your
happens.
road games are probably
funny.
like 5 of the toughest road games that any Big Ten team could have. You dodge Ohio State at home; it's at home, but
Nebraska, Penn State,
Maryland's going to be
Minnesota,
good.
Michigan State,
Penn
Maryland.
State's
Those are not
arguably
great
a
road
top 3
games.
team, one of the best teams. Big Ten Network thinks they have the most talented roster. The Chief picked Penn State to win the Big Ten.
Yeah.
You're going into East Lansing. You have to go back to back from Nebraska. You have to travel to Minnesota. I'm not saying Minnesota's going to be good,
Yeah, I wouldn't.
but still back to back.
No one's saying
And
we
then you
expect
just
you to lose
can't.
those games, Grant. We're just saying
Nebraska's
fluky
gonna
shit
be
happens
probably
in
a
college football all the time.
Primetime game.
I respect these
Matt Rule's going to be
programs,
better.
but this
Nebraska's going to be well coached. That's the floor 9-3. The ceiling's obviously 12-0, 13-0. You're going into the playoff undefeated.
We
Hopefully you don't
predicted
see
your
TCU
team to
again.
go to the playoffs, so before you get your pants in any more of a wad, let's just remember that.
Well, I just got to back my guys. This is what Brad wanted from me. I am drinking the Michigan.
So what are you
going
going to
to
do if Michigan loses one of those games that we just mentioned? What are you going to? Are you going to apologize to us?
Not Ohio State. Not Ohio State. Penn State.
Yeah, you're going to apologize to us.
100%, and I'll be very disappointed in the team. Like that's how high the stakes are this year.
Be like,
there's
I'm
no-
sorry, I
the
forgot
team
that
is-
these are 18
But
to
there is a
22-year-old
point, right? It is
kids,
college
and it's
football.
college football, and anything can happen.
But the script has flipped the
Michigan
last
was
2 years
like
to
what,
such a
4
point where
minutes
it's
away.
like
Michigan was 4 minutes away from losing to Illinois last year at home.
Agreed. Like you got to
Yeah.
remember stuff like that happens all the time.
But they were, to me, well, that was an injury. If Blake Corum doesn't get hurt, they
And
beat
Blake
by
Corum getting hurt should actually
17
help your
points.
team because you hand the ball off to a better running back.
Agreed in this scenario.
Evan, I know you. That's your point, but I'm telling you, watching the game, Blake Corum had like 100 yards at half. Like for better or worse, for how
Donovan
good
Edwards would have
Donovan
had
is,
150 yards at half if we got those same handoffs.
I mean, you beat Maryland.
He also was doing it with a broken
last
hand.
year
Like,
by 6. Not as close as it says, but
That was the first Big Ten game every
Illinois
year.
by
Shady. Rutgers
2.
would probably be a 7-point win.
Indiana
game
first
was always
half
bad.
was really bad.
Did you see the
I
stat?
think first road game.
Insane. This is one of the most insane stats I've ever seen. This from Alex's favorite guy, Josh Ogdahl, Michigan fan. He did the average margin of
He is,
victory
though.
for Michigan. Average margin of victory for Michigan over every Big Ten opponent in the Harbaugh era. The best team against Michigan is Indiana with an average of 14.7. They play Michigan the toughest.
It helps they blew them out in
when
the
in
COVID year.
wins. In wins.
It wins only, Alex.
Oh,
It's wins only. So when they win,
good for
they
them.
only beat Indiana by an average of 14 points.
maybe it's because Michigan
not
doesn't
this
really like get up for that game because it's Indiana. But
Nobody
Well, they
should
got
get
up
for that
because they
game.
let Mozzie Smith on the plane, so they were really trying to win that one.
Oh shoot,
The
he's on the
ceiling is
plane.
national
He's
title.
still legal.
the ceiling is national
is the
title. The
craziest
floor
thing.
is 9-3. Just how
I
it
know
is.
you guys are going to call it champagne problems, but it really is such a burden this year because I saw the single greatest win of my entire life as a Michigan fan last season. So it's just hard to one-up that. Like the stakes of one-upping that are that they have to win a national title.
You have to
Like,
win a
They
playoff
have
game.
to win a playoff game at a minimum.
You gotta get there
and
first.
I really am just thirsty for the title
Okay.
because this is their best chance to win a title in history. that
Just
I've been
remember,
alive.
in all great runs, they do come to an end. Hopefully, it's not
Next
this
year, Alex. Next year. has to
Hopefully,
come to an
it
end. I
doesn't
know. That's the burden.
crumble into a 9-3, and then you're sitting here crying and apologizing to us. It'd be a big show. Do a lot of numbers, but
It would be depression.
like I'd hate to see you slip up in that Nebraska game on September 30th.
How does that happen, though? Who are they bringing to the table?
A good coach, a new quarterback, and a lot of talent.
Like, you think they got that good by week 5 that they can
This
pull
is
off
the
that
same
type of
Nebraska team that just loses games by like 3 points because of incompetent coaching, and now they have a coach.
And like,
I don't think it's unrealistic.
Who's calling the shots under center? Like, who's the QB that's going to scare me?
The transfer from Georgia Tech, Jeff Sims.
He's really good.
Well, it doesn't scare Grant.
I don't expect him to
Who's
scare
that?
you, but like he's
'Cause
fast, athletic quarterback.
I
They're
honestly
going to be
think
4-0 when they
beat
come into you. come to play you. It's at home.
Doing what?
It's gonna be like 4-0 when they
Into 'em.
come into you. When you come
Oh,
into their
nice.
stadium, they'll be 4-0.
Oh.
They might be ranked. It's probably going to be a charged up atmosphere. That is still to be determined. Might be put at night.
If you're a Big Ten team, I firmly believe this year you have to have a pretty insane quarterback performance to beat Michigan, because I think pound for pound on both sides of the ball in the big ugly positions, they're
Alex, that's
just not going to be
disrespectful.
outmatched in those.
Minnesota's beating them the first game.
No, I'm sorry. I think Nebraska. It's their
They
year
play
to
on
get.
Thursday night. You're going to be watching.
I am going to be watching, of course. That's not a week 0 game. That's a real football game.
You think that statement though is pretty fair in our conference?
Grant, I'm
to
not
beat
predicting.
Michigan.
Well, I think Ohio State and Penn State match up well enough that they don't need superb QB play to beat you. I don't think that's a fair statement.
No, I think it is. I think Aller has to be the guy to win that game. They're not going to just
Talent-wise,
manhandle Michigan.
I mean,
I think Alex is right on the Penn State Ohio State.
I would
I think there's enough
say
talent
you're
on the
better than
roster
them,
that
yes.
their quarterback can just be like a game manager, Cade McNamara, for example. Okay, I'm just saying like that quarterback is a game manager. Don't turn the ball over. You're okay. And like the roster should take care of itself. But if you're a low level roster, Minnesota, Nebraska as of right now, Maryland, you need a top
Nebraska has the
talented
4th
quarterback.
best roster in the Big Ten.
So
They're not bums.
I mean, I'm not trying to be dismissive, but I don't see how that game's like within 2 touchdowns at the end of it.
Well, I do, because I look
Nebraska
back
game?
at 2 years ago when you
Yeah.
guys should have lost that game.
With Cade McNamara, I agree. Different set of situation.
I would argue Nebraska's going to be better as well.
oh my god, I'm drawing a blank.
Nebraska has
Cheap.
Chief
Nebraska
Borders.
last year was the Nebraska game last year was like the worst football game I've ever watched. It just wasn't even a
Did you
competition.
play Nebraska last year?
Yeah, at
Yes.
home.
Nebraska, yeah,
It was
they
disgusting.
were not good last year. But this is at Nebraska, and they might be 4-0, and it's going to be under the lights. It's going to be charged up.
3-1.
I love that though. Just go mollywop them.
Just you saw what happened when Purdue played Ohio State under the lights, all
I hope
charged
Sean
up.
McDonald's calling that game for you guys.
No, Evan, we don't get ESPN anymore.
I hope it's Gary Danielson.
Oh,
We don't play on ESPN ever again,
Gary
So
Danielson.
unless you make the playoffs.
I guess I had this for both teams: best win and worst loss. What could it be?
I think Grant. I think Michigan's worst loss. I think would be like Maryland. It's at Maryland. It's the week
awful.
before Ohio State. You're getting hyped up for
loss.
that, and then you just get kicked in the nuts by Maryland.
That would be so.
Not saying you get
am
murdered
firmly
by them,
never
but
going to
it's just
believe in
like-
Maryland ever, and I will continue to never believe in them.
I'm just saying they have a top 3 quarterback in the Big Ten that is capable of throwing for 500 yards against the defense.
Yeah, I'll put.
I think that would be one of, and circumstances you're looking for towards Ohio State. You're probably 11-0, 10-1. You're thinking about Ohio State, and then all of a sudden, boom, Maryland and their stupid uniforms hit you in the face.
What's the question?
What could their worst loss be?
It's like, so I could just pick their worst
what will it
team.
be?
I don't expect.
No, like
Well, realistically,
Realistically.
they're not going to lose to Bowling Green, Alex. They could roll out there with their JV team and just run the ball the
answer
entire time.
Is Penn State is the worst loss Michigan could have this year.
Oh, because you don't believe
Oh.
they can lose to anybody besides Penn State and Ohio State. Correct.
Pretty much. Yeah. And I honestly
So
think
for
Penn
that
State's
reason-
trickier than Ohio State. I think they should handle Ohio State at home unless Ohio State's quarterback surprises me.
I'll just say one of their road games, not Penn State, including Penn State. Any of their road games would be considered a bad loss.
Would not because
would
yeah, that
be
would be
considered. Any loss for them is considered bad.
Best win's kind of boring, I guess. The best win.
I would say in
Best
Happy
win
Valley.
is-
Should be the
State.
playoff game.
Yeah.
To play for a national
Yes.
championship game, that would be the best one.
I think we're talking.
That would be
regular
the best
season.
Oh,
Regular
10
season
games.
Ohio State.
Carolina with
college
all
football.
those suspensions and injuries that you were hyping up, that'd be a big win.
well, Grant, do you feel special that the Michigan Ohio State game is the number one game on ESPN that has the most impact on the college football playoff?
Typically does.
I guess. Team MVP.
Unless
Donovan Edwards, most talented guy in your roster. Got to give him the ball more.
I'll
like it.
go with it's the year of JJ McCarthy.
Mhm. Alex,
That's
according to
would be-
what's his name? I'm freaking drawing a blank. Brandon Walker. According to Brandon Walker, he's not that good.
Well, I don't disagree.
Well,
He had stats to prove it up, though.
He doesn't
Brandon
get to do
Walker's
as much
probably
as he
the
wants
best.
to do.
Brandon Walker's probably like model of a QB is Dak Prescott.
We may
so-
never see the full
blame him.
JJ unleashed at the college level. We might not.
It could be game one against East Carolina. People are saying with Kirk Campbell calling the shots.
Oh, they do that. Just gonna
Can you
run
imagine
it.
what Jim would do to Kirk if he's just air raid?
They'd be fired.
Jim said he may not watch the game. He might go to his son's football
That
game.
shows how much this
That's
game
doesn't know what to
matters.
do.
That is a lie. That's such a lie.
No, because like some coaches can't stand to watch. It would drive me crazy if I was a coach. I wouldn't be able to sit there and just watch my coaches probably mess up.
Jim Harbaugh's going to be in the area. He's going to be in Michigan Stadium watching it on a TV.
Grant, answer this question
With
for me.
binoculars.
If it's 14-14 at half, are you going to think that maybe you could lose some of these games on the road later in the year?
No, absolutely
Nothing
not.
will make you worried.
Losing
would
to
have
East
to be,
Carolina
right.
won't make you worried.
If you're losing in the third
No,
quarter,
because even with TCU last year, they were in it down
We're
to the
talking
fourth
about East
quarter with like
Carolina.
5 minutes to go. No,
you wouldn't be like, oh, maybe I should have a little, maybe temper my expectations a tiny bit.
East Carolina is such an outlier. Like if it's closer, you throw that out because they're not even playing at 100%. The coach is the most important thing in college football, and
Quarterback.
he's just not
I
there
would say
for
quarterback,
3 games.
but yes.
I disagree. I think in college football, coach is king. Like Kirk Ferentz has built like a solid program with dog shit quarterbacks.
Yeah, that's why they've won nothing.
No. Nate Stanley's actually pretty good.
But they're like
Ricky Stanzi was
they're
better.
a threat. All right,
Oh.
team MVP for me gotta be
CJ
JJ.
Beathard.
One guy
Mm.
I think could have a breakout year is Roman Wilson for wideout. I think he could have a breakout year.
We gave our breakout
Um,
players last week.
Michigan State football. Your news and notes is your coach won't say who the QB is, keeping it tight-lipped. But apparently, Alex, we have breaking
The
news of who we know the
source.
starter will be.
Source
Would
us.
not call it
cutting the
breaking
clip.
news.
Well, don't caveat.
source
I've been
us.
told from a source
Thank you.
close to the program, so this is not a message boards source,
I mean, those fake
Word of
message
mouth.
boards that people believe in.
whatever they may be. That Caden Hauser's taking the first snap on Friday, which is very contradictory to every other outlet. So we'll see. Would be interesting. I would be
Another
for it.
Hauser, the Michigan State fan base can get behind. I love it.
I would be for it.
Didn't even think of that. Oh, yeah. You guys would be addicted to the Flash
I mean, it would give us
In a
some hope
second.
for sure.
until he throws a errant pick, and then you're like, oh, God.
I
Again,
firmly
he's
believe
stick
Michigan
behind your
State is going to
quarterback, stay with
absolutely annihilate Central Michigan. I got my scouting report from one of my employees today who went to Central and is a Central football fan. He gave me the skinny. It's going to be
Who's
ugly.
the Central's quarterback?
He says they have 3 quarterbacks.
Lefevre.
Not a single one of them can throw a ball. They just run.
They reload.
Which
they don't
means
rebuild
if
the Central,
you're just
they
going to try to
reload.
run on us all day, I think we're going to be just fine.
Is Dan Lefevre coming out?
They're
I
not
asked
going
if
to
he had
run.
any
They lost
secret
Sean-
Antonio Browns. He said yes.
they
They
lost
went to the
Sean-
NFL. They're gone. Their best running back, Lou Nichols, gone. NFL.
Transfer.
That's the guy I was thinking about.
So they have nothing. They're bad.
Sometimes people leaving
They went 4-8
gives
last year with
opportunities for
those
new
guys.
people.
I went 4-8 last year.
They had a-
All right. Okay. Okay.
They're not a good.
The point spread has gone
So
up
you
though,
think-
recently. It's up to 14 now. I don't know what do you have
You
that
think
Grant? I thought it was like
14
10
and a half.
But
I got 14 and a half
oh,
plus.
my bad. No.
Central plays Notre
I thought it
Dame
was
this
a
year.
10
Good
at
for
one
them.
Money.
Should I? Notre Dame lost to Marshall last year. People do not forget.
That's why
forget
Michigan could lose to anyone.
Incorrect. We're a better program. My point that I'm trying to make is I think I'm starting to lose it because Alex distracted me. It's unfortunate. A real letdown.
You think
I had
Central's
something
good?
to say.
That was what you were going to
Oh,
say.
are you advising that you would say I should take Michigan State adjusted line like minus 20 and a half plus money? Because
Yeah, I
I
would feel
cover that.
really good about that.
Interesting. Maybe I'll
I
double hedge.
firmly
Maybe I'll
believe
win
they're
both.
going to blow them out. And it's going to be a get right after that garbage season last year. And I'm sorry, Central, you're in the way.
Get right. A week 1 get right game. I've never heard of such
I
a
think they're
thing.
motivated. I think they feel doubted.
Where do you guys
I
keep
guess
an eye
Alex,
on?
the biggest
Everything?
question is: Am I going to be enjoying my melting moments at halftime, or am I going to be pissed off?
I think it's going to be
You're
like
always gonna
28-3
enjoy
at
that.
halftime.
28. There's no way this offense is scoring 28 points at halftime.
Yeah, I think we're going to win
Agreed.
like 45 to 14, maybe. It's not going to be close.
25 to 14, probably.
No, we're going to put up points.
And one of the
Cover.
touchdowns was by the defense.
We're going to run the
Cover.
ball all over them.
Jay Johnson
You'll
still
see.
calling the plays.
See, I feel genuinely good about it. This is no green goggles. This is everything I've read about it. I feel good about it.
People that get paid to cover a team so they don't want to seem bad.
No, because last year going into the season, there was a lot of red flags that I read. I just chose to ignore, and then it all came to fruition during the Washington.
You
game.
held your back on that one, but not on the anything that you else that you find.
Well, yeah, correct.
I don't believe you. I think you're
I'm dead
lying through
serious,
your
Evan.
freaking teeth right
And
now.
after I saw Peyton Thorne the first game last year, I thought it might get dicey.
You're lying through your freaking teeth right now.
Oh, Alex.
You guys are
Don't
you
do
guys are
that.
laughing now. Well, you'll be laughing on Sunday night.
Okay,
on
it's
our
also a
podcast.
4-8 Central team, so like,
Yeah,
Yeah, but we're taking it one game at a time, Evan.
One game
this
at a
is
time.
Fair.
Grant. Well, our motto last year is don't be upset. We cherish the wins. If we win, I'm going to cherish it.
Western is a
Yes,
better team
celebrate
than
wins.
Central last year, and we beat them easily enough. Was never close.
Yeah, I told Alex I was going to extend my victory celebrations into Wednesday every week, and he looked at me like I was crazy, but it's enjoyable.
You can blow out Central. You guys know it. You know it.
I hope Central scores the first touchdown. I'll be honest.
I really can't handle that.
Record prediction for the year. I think if you're consistent, I'll go first since I'm the rival fan here. Although some people wonder if I'm actually a closet Michigan State fan, so we'll see.
We kind of got rid of that because you're kind of a douche now.
See, if I say anything nice about Michigan, Alex thinks it means
No,
negative Michigan
when
State.
you
And that's
just-
just not true.
When Michigan, well, your tunnel behavior last year really made us realize what you stand for. So
You're still
Yeah.
grasping onto that.
no,
I'm
I'm
not
not
holding
holding
on
on
to
to
it.
it.
Everyone-
Because I wasn't involved in that. It was the two of you who went at it. So
And Cody would
I was
see.
just like stirring
That
the
is
pot,
just
and some people
classic-
thought I was
you,
actually.
rivalry
you said a
banter.
couple statements that were very disrespectful.
Yeah, that can't be held against anyone in court. That was a crazy night. That will never happen in college football.
I mean,
Potentially
some
again.
things said were just not appropriate.
And it really wasn't actually that bad at all. Well, maybe I didn't say anything
You said
that-
one
I did
thing
not say
that was
anything
very
bad.
disrespectful
That bad.
to the
I just did the
University.
classic bit of like classic behavior, but that's not that bad. If you internalize that as being like yourself, then that's more.
We
on
had
you.
already lost the game, Grant. You didn't need to pile on.
Well, they
You
didn't
have your
pile
little
on that
Michigan
player.
men chats, remember? You have your Michigan men chats full of
Oh.
guys that didn't go to Michigan. Don't forget about them. You can use them.
We do have a Michigan chat for Michigan
Michigan
fans.
men for guys that didn't go there. Yes.
And that's actually just called
Yeah, it
Michigan.
got changed because I think me, called you guys out for the most ridiculous group chat name I've ever seen. Anyways, this is why I
But
don't
you want to
believe
be in
you
that
have
chat so bad. I
you're-
know you do.
No, I do not want to see any of that.
We gotta revive that thing. It's pretty dormant in the off seasons. We gotta revive that.
That's
It's dark
why,
basketball season.
Because of those reasons. No, you're not a closet Spartan. If any reason for you to cheer for Michigan State, maybe it'd be for your girlfriend's happiness. You should try it.
I root for all my friends' happiness except for that one game.
Doesn't
But
always feel
besides
true.
that, I hope you guys win every game.
I can
It
give
is
an
true.
example. I don't need to do it on the pod, but I can. Of you
The Rutgers game?
avidly cheering for Rutgers in my face.
Well, that was just funny. If Michigan was
Okay.
going to lose to
Well,
Rutgers,
then
you'd
let's
take the
just cut the
opportunity as
shit,
well.
Grant. You do not root for us. Now move on.
Record prediction. Well, if I have money, so I need you to win 6 games this year. And with that being said, what I'm looking at here, 1, 2, homecoming,
Tough schedule.
upset win, upset homecoming win.
That's
I already
not
know what
upset.
we're wearing for homecoming, Alex. Special uniforms that we haven't even debuted yet.
Throwback Kelly Greens.
6-6, 6
Nope.
and 6. That's what I came up with.
Breaking news,
thoughts?
Grant. That's what I have us at 6-6 as well. I see 5 pretty comfortable, all right wins, and then another one that is just maybe we'll surprise somebody.
Yeah, that's exactly my mindset when I looked at it.
I'll go 7-5 for the guys in green.
No. I wanted you to go higher. I wanted you to stand out from the
Well,
crowd.
if I do, then you two just shit on me for the next 20 minutes. So there's no point in
Actually,
that.
no, Alex.
No,
If
this is
Peyton
your
Thorne was a
chance.
quarterback, we'd go 8-4.
That's absurd.
9
I would say we'd go 4-8.
no
with
3
Peyton
wins.
Thorne.
So that'd be 10-2, Evan. That'd be 10-2.
I think we'll beat Central, Richmond, Maryland,
Rutgers.
Rutgers, one
We'll
of
beat
Minnesota and
Maryland. I think you guys are
Nebraska,
underrated. We scored 13 points against Maryland last year.
Indiana. We
And our
almost
offense got
beat them.
a lot worse.
We almost beat them.
No,
Yes, we
No.
did almost. That was a close
we
game.
lost by double digits.
They scored a touchdown
Double
at the end of
digits.
the game.
Double
It
digits.
was a close game, and we played awful.
I don't think it was close.
It was. I watched it. I think you were
I don't
with
think it
me
was.
watching it. I think we watched it
I was. I
together.
was in your
That's-
apartment.
Best win, worst loss.
Best
worst
win
loss
would
for
be
me.
Richmond.
Alex played Granco.
Worst loss, Richmond.
Worst loss would be at Rutgers. That would be the
That's
worst loss I could
disgusting.
potentially see happening.
You could see if
It would be.
you
I agree.
can't see your team losing 3 games. You could see us losing to Rutgers.
freaking stupid.
A team with a projected win total of 3.5. We're gonna
Alex
lose.
thought
to
we had
them.
a chance to win that game.
It was kind of close for a while.
Alex, we didn't score in the second half of the Maryland game last year.
Correct, but we looked good in the first half. Peyton Thorne
We were
looked
down
like shit.
21-13.
Thank you,
That's a
Evan,
one
for
possession
clarifying.
game.
So is it up?
That's a one possession
Okay.
At
game.
halftime, we didn't score in the entire second half. We lost by 14 points.
So they only scored 7 in the second half. So it was just a garbage
False. They
offense.
scored 6.
So it was just bad. It was 6-0 in the second half. It's not like we got blown out.
We didn't score at all.
I've watched.
That
I
was on the
watched
road.
COVID year
In bad
Michigan
weather.
almost lose to Rutgers, and I watched Cade McNamara, Big Ten team, beat Rutgers by 7 at home. At Rutgers would be the worst loss of the season I can see. The best win would be at Iowa. I think that'd be a nice win for Michigan State.
Worst loss would be the first game of the year against Central, just a doomsday the entire season. Derail it.
Jesus
The worst
Christ.
loss, Alex. The worst
you
loss
could
of the
see
season would be the
happening.
first
It
game
could
of the year.
That,
you think it
yes.
happened.
Oh my
You
god.
think we could lose to Richmond in FCS program?
No. I don't think we can lose to
That's
Central
what you
or
said. You said the
Richmond
worst loss
or
would be to
Rutgers
Richmond.
or Indiana. I think
Alex, we
those
could
are
lose to
4
Rutgers.
auto wins.
Alex, we lost to Indiana last year because we couldn't make a field goal, and Ross Ells is still calling the special teams plays.
Yeah, but Evan, you have to have a kicker. If a kicker misses a 22-yard field goal,
Ross
that's
Ells is
not
kicking
Ross
this
Ells'
year.
fault.
Ross Ells is kicking.
Ross
He's
Ells
still on
can't make
staff. He should have been
22-year-old
fired 3 years ago.
22-yard field goals.
He can prep the special teams like he is paid to
We
do
have
to
a-
succeed in a game.
Well, we have to hope the kicker's better. Yes.
I
Best
think the
win,
worst
Evan.
loss would be Central. Best win would be at home versus Michigan. Just in-state rival and ruin their entire season. That'd
I
be
knew
the
you'd
best
say
thing,
that.
Grant.
And you can see it. You can see it in your eyes if you close them.
Yes.
I could see it happening, yes. It's just one
All
of
right.
these, it's just a get-up game.
Grant's going to go Texas,
They'll be up.
Michigan,
There's
then
no doubt.
chat about that.
They can just
Worst
listen to the
loss. Worst loss in my eyes.
Ohio State.
No. I'll go with. Well,
There's only like one game to pick from, and it's Central.
no, I'll go with. Grant said Rutgers.
Well, you have to
said
pick Rutgers
Central,
for Indiana,
So I have to
'cause
pick
you-
a different one.
You have to say Rutgers or
No,
Indiana. because
Alex
you
is
said
above those
guaranteed
tiers.
wins.
Yeah, I do. I think Maryland at home on
Yes.
homecoming would be a sad loss, devastating loss for a program that should be better.
It's a pretty respectable loss, to be
No, you
honest.
shouldn't lose
It
at
is.
home. On homecoming,
It is Josh Gaddis, though. That would suck if you lost to Josh Gaddis at home.
No, you shouldn't lose that game. You shouldn't. Best win I see is Washington
Washington.
because
Washington.
I have a reason. Their defense isn't very good. So, maybe. And we scored a bunch on them last year, even though we couldn't play offense. So,
One guy scored a lot.
yeah, it's still points.
He's not there anymore.
Yeah, but we don't have Jarek
Peyton Thorne actually had a great game that
Broussard
day.
running around like a bozo in the backfield.
Okay.
It's true, Grant.
Team MVP. Most valuable player on Michigan State's football team. Do I go offensive skill? Or do I go?
I think the smart decision would be defense.
I think Nathan Carter is a huge piece because if I just can't get Kane out of my head, if you guys can somewhat run the ball, I guess it'd be like the whole offensive line, but I have to pick one guy. It would be Nathan. Actually, you know what? I'll just take your offensive line. If that unit is functionable, your offense will actually have a pulse, and that's huge for the season considering how good you think your defense will be.
I like how
The
you said it
offensive
like that.
Like,
How good you think
would say
your defense will be based on what you guys are saying.
we don't know. We
Offense
don't know.
again, because I think the defense is going to be solid. So if we want to win games, we're going to have to put up more than 22 points, or play calling's got to dramatically improve. So I'm going to go with Malik Carr. I've been saying his name the last couple of years,
Grant doesn't know.
but we don't have enough talent on the offensive side of the ball to like matchups. And he's the one guy that is probably NFL talented. So I think he's going to carry the passing game. He's going to carry the scheme-wise in the air game, too. I'm going to say Malik Carr.
I was going to say Nathan Carter. So thanks, Grant, for not taking him.
Not sure. Go first then, buddy.
He didn't say him. He said offensive line. So I'll take Nate
I
Carter,
pivoted.
who's going to
Oh.
rush for 1,000 yards.
1,500.
That's a bold statement.
Not 1,500.
1,500 is a bold
That
statement.
would be a lot. But I'll go 1,026.
I like it. I'll go with the under.
I do like that for you. You got a lot right on Nathan Carter.
He's going to have a 50-yard house call on Friday. I guarantee it.
How many yards?
50.
Last year it was that Daniel Barker guy stole the show with this one.
Yeah, it turns out
grab.
he's garbage. So,
I'm excited to see the classic Barstool student section shot of Michigan State.
I don't know
in,
if we're going to
college
have a lot of
football. Bad.
students. You know, we had a bad season. Would
Student tickets sold out for football.
Oh, they're nuts. Good for them.
It'll be big.
Stripe the
There's
stadium.
too many kids for it not to be full.
Stripe the stadium.
Really?
I'm wearing green.
We're white, Evan.
Oh, Evan, we'll have to wear white. Well, Tucker's going to be watching.
Real quick, a little segment to implement. Feel free to join on as the college football season progresses. But I just feel like now that I can, I'm going to read off my bets for the weekend that I have placed already.
I haven't even
You guys
placed a
can
college football bet yet, Grant.
I ripped through last night, just gut feel. You guys can rip on any ones that you want. I'm going to go fast, so save it for the end. Clemson minus 12.5 versus Duke.
Okay.
At Duke. Felt too low. Florida State money line to back up money where my mouth is.
2 in a row.
Rutgers, minus 6.5 hosting Northwestern. Northwestern is
Those
gone.
teams are.
This is
both
a trap
garbage.
line.
Why would you make yourself watch that?
I'm not going to watch it.
I was
I'm just
thinking it's on
gonna collect the money.
CBS on Sunday. It's a standalone game.
Sunday?
Sunday at
Oh, that
noon
means
on
I will be
CBS.
watching
Standalone game. Northwestern and Rutgers.
Just for our
They
big
paid all that
children.
money. This line stinks to high hell. Texas Tech
Why
at
pick my
Wyoming.
pool?
Wyoming is only plus 13.5 underdogs. I'm taking that every time.
I like
My
Texas
account
Tech
just
in that
logged
one.
me out due to inactivity, so I'm going to pull this back up again. But really, why would Texas Tech only be 13.5 point favorites? Wyoming, good program. Illinois minus 9.5, hosting Toledo, only getting 9.5 against a MAC school. That's
Which is a
trash.
good football team.
Ohio State, Indiana. Ohio State's only favored by 29.5.
That I would take
They don't-
Ohio State by
Indiana
60.
can't stop that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Alternate line. 45.
Regular season wins over 8.5 for Wisconsin.
Good pick.
Shout out to Cody with the C. East Carolina at Michigan
Hate that
over
pick,
51.5
I wanted
points.
to say it in the group chat, but I wasn't going to.
Well, I'm going to back it up with East Carolina plus 35.5. Money where my mouth is. It's going to be a tighter game for Michigan than they want due to all
I
the
envision a
suspensions.
42-7 game.
Arkansas State at Oklahoma. Oklahoma minus 34.5. They're just going to blow the doors off of Arkansas State because that's what Oklahoma does.
Oklahoma was bad
Um,
last year.
CMU plus 14.5 has been
Bad
discussed,
pick.
but also
They have
Michigan
David
State over
Stone.
5.5 wins.
Good pick.
So they got David Stone. So
They'll be good eventually. They'll be good this year, probably.
So
Man, you have a
the
lot
other
of
ones I'm
picks.
waiting on, I want to touch the Utah Florida game for Thursday because it's going to be a huge game, but I don't know the health of
God,
Cam
I missed
Rising,
this
and I can't
Utah's
do that yet.
top two quarterbacks
I
are
can't-
both injured.
Yeah, I just They're favored and they should win, but I don't know
Cap
who's
here
playing
to browse
quarterback.
by conference now.
But you guys
Oh
know
my
who Florida's quarterback is? It's disgusting. It's Graham
Graham
Mertz.
Mertz.
Might be better in a better
It's Graham
system.
Mertz. He stinks.
Shout out to
No.
Coach Piegler, running backs coach, assistant head coach at Florida.
Yeah,
My
he
guy.
left us after he created Kenneth Walker.
I got to work underneath him, so he's a good guy.
Shout out that. All right. I think with all that being said, we can close out episode 130. College football is upon us.
We're back.
The
Alex's
real
hype
diehards
video's
will love
coming
this
out.
episode.
No, it isn't. Don't lie to the people, Evan. I said it's for
Washington's
Washington.
a 7-point
Couple
favorite
weeks.
at Notre Dame right
If Michigan
now.
State loses
that
Essential,
with what you
I
wish.
just need to say there won't be a hype video this year. Sorry to say that, but
That's fair.
just
That's
pretty
totally
sure
fair.
no one's
Will
going
be
to
a hype video
want
for the Michigan
to
game.
watch that hype video.
Evan, I got to see Ohio State's quarterback before I get into that Notre Dame game.
Al McCord, he played high school football with what's his name, Marvin Jones
Guess who?
Jr.
Marvin Harrison.
Jones
Harrison,
Jr.
great
Close
connection.
enough.
Marvin Jones
Shut
Jr.
the
is
frick
only
up.
22 years old.
Cut. See you. Bye, everybody. See you
Evan's
later.
ready for like,
Enjoy college football.
cheers.
Cheers.